Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Yucaipa Valley Real Estate Life. Today, we're going to be looking into a little bit about the federal fund rate and then what that means for your mortgage. So they're not exactly tied together in a cause and effect relationship. Like changing the federal fund doesn't innately or anything change the mortgage rate. But what does happen is that the federal fund is lowered or raised to control inflation. So if the market is really, really hot and there's a lot of action in the market, then they raise the federal fund rate as a way to help cool the market off. But in a market like right now, where there's a lot of concern and fear, then what they do is they drop the federal fund rate down in order to stimulate more action and more movement in the market because rates are low. But as you can see, they do sort of like play with each other. But there actually is something on the news that we're not hearing about that has the most effect on the mortgage market, and that's something called QEs, the quantitative easing. And this is when the Fed buys up Treasury and mortgage bonds as a way to help stimulate the market by pouring cash in. And so depending on the amount of input by the Fed on the mortgage bonds, we may or may not see a different result for the overall way that the market settles at the end of all of this turbulence. So I definitely will be doing a follow-up video on this. Feel free to comment below if you know more about it. I in no way claim to be some kind of financial expert. So this is just sort of my rudimentary understanding. So please feel free to comment below if you have any other tips or anything about the mortgage market as it pertains to the Fed. Okay, so for now, the mortgage rates are down slightly in response to the federal rate cut, but that doesn't mean that the mortgage rates have dropped to zero or that they are going to stay low for very long. So we really have to wait and see how it sort of springs back out after the turbulence is over. But in the meantime, if I've forgotten something, please feel free to leave a comment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.